Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. I'm out at the range today with heavy metal, and what I wanted to do a video on was my journey, if you will, into long range shooting, or I'll probably title this video something like Beginner's Guide to Long Range Shooting. So me, I'm just a regular old dude. I don't shoot in competitions. I was never in any law enforcement, never been any branch of the military. I'm just a regular dude with a regular job, and I have a good time flinging bullets a real far ways. But yeah, I'm gonna just give you a super quick story on what I do. People want to say, oh, you can shoot 1,000 yards. I can hand you either one of these rifles right here, and you could shoot 1,000 yards. People sometimes like to talk like it's some sort of fanciful or incredible thing, but really, I'm not kidding you. It's pretty simple. If you can do a somewhat half-decent squeeze on a trigger, you can shoot 1,000 yards, piece of cake. But these two rifles I have in front of me, when somebody says long-range shooting, a lot of people immediately think in their mind 50 BMG. This is my Barrett M99 right here, with the long heavy barrel on it. That sucker will shoot 1,000 yards and then some. And for that, I've got these 750 grain Hornady AMAX rounds, long range gun at 50 BMG. And then this right here is my Savage 110 BA Stealth in 338 Lapua Magnum. Got some 300 grain Norma Match Kings right there. Hey, I've got a couple videos shooting this rifle at 1,000 yards. But the point of what I'm trying to get at is you don't have to have an expensive rifle or expensive ammo to shoot long distance. I've got videos shooting several calibers at 1,000 yards, and many of them are very cheap, inexpensive rifles. Some that you probably wouldn't expect people are out there shooting long range. So I'm gonna roll in a couple clips here of some videos that we've done shooting long range. Also, while I'm thinking about it, a huge shout out to the Alabama Arsenal channel on YouTube, and he's everywhere else too. If you're not following or subscribed to Alabama Arsenal, go check him out, subscribe. He's the one that got me into long distance shooting. So also, don't take anything that I'm saying as expert knowledge or anything. I'm just sharing with you my experience, what I've learned along the way, things that I do. I could be telling you something wrong, so don't take it to the bank. I'm just telling you what I do. But let me roll in some clips here of some videos where we've shot long range. I'm just going to start trying to name them off the top of my head. So, 6.5 Creedmoor. Got a video shooting a $400 Ruger American 6.5 Creedmoor at 1,000 yards. Roll that clip. Yeah. And then the next one off the top of my head is a CMMG Resolute in 6mm arc at 1,000. Roll that clip in here. Yeah, I like that. 6mm arc.
The head is eyes.
And then another CMMG we filmed at 1,000 yards was a 308 Endeavor rifle. Roll that 308 1,000 yard footage.
Hit. Hit.
Boom! Something that's so awesome when you're shooting at 1,000 yards, you hear the round go off, and then you see it shake the target, and then you hear it later. It's just awesome. Another one we filmed, 7mm Remington Magnum, and this is with a $200 rifle. Okay, I specifically bought that rifle. It's a Remington 770, considered by most to be a piece of junk. I literally bought that rifle just to make a video showing that, hey, here's a $200 gun we can shoot at 1,000 yards. So check this footage out.
Hit.
Impact.
Hit.
Impact.
And then, of course, we've shot this .338 WHOTEEWHO Magnum Savage at 1,000 yards. Roll some of those clips in here.
Impact. Impact. Impact.
And then, just recently filmed a video. Also, almost forgot, we've shot .22-250 at 1,000 yards. Check out this footage here. Also have shot .25-06 at 1,000 yards. That's not one that I'd ever seen done before. .25-06 at 1,000 yards. Check out this clip. And then we also just recently filmed 300 Winchester Short Mag, or 300 WSM. We filmed that at 1,000 yards. Check that out. All that being said, just a couple clips there. And also, we've also shot, we just filmed 350 Legend at 700 yards, and we're going to film that again and stretch it out to 1,000 next time. All that being said, it just goes to show you, I'm not an expert, but I have fun shooting long range, and you can do it. It's not something that is impossible, or to me even really that incredible. 1,000 yards, no. Further than that, then you're getting into some incredible stuff, at least from my opinion and my perspective. But all that being said, I'm going to give you just my real quick tips of how do we do it. I'm going to pick the 308 cartridge. I'm going to run you through some numbers, tell you how I do it, and then show you on a couple scopes how you would dial for the different distances, and just kind of walk you through it. That way, if you have never done it before, you can go get a rifle or a rifle that you already have, run the numbers, look at your scope, and see if your scope will do it. And if not, you can get a scope that will help you do it a little bit better. You don't have to have an expensive scope to shoot long range. That was a whole lot of talking and a whole lot of rolling in some footage. Let me get back to the computer here, and I'll grab some 308 ammo. We'll go through the numbers and just some real quick stuff from me. And yeah, and again, I'm no expert, I'm just sharing my experience. Check it out. Before we get into the meat of this video and I tell you all my secrets, let me tell you about Maxi Squad treats and chews. Maxi Squad is all I give old Junior here. Junior is a 10-year-old Beagle mix. We got him from the pound over 10 years ago. But he has a sensitive stomach. I used to give him the, whatever you call it, bargain brand treats. And if you look at the ingredients, it literally has 50 different things. I saw it had 3 different colors, color dyes in it. And half the ingredients I couldn't even pronounce. Maxi Squad treats and chews, they're single ingredient. They're easy on old Junior's tummy. Before he'd get his stomach upset, he'd have to throw up, he'd get bad gas. Ever since I've been giving him the Maxi Squad treats, he hasn't had any problems. But I'm going to give him one quick here for being a good boy. Chew, chew. But no matter what kind I give him, he likes all of it. I'm going to give you one of these, buddy. You eat that. Eat that, good boy. But Maxi Squad treats, it says it right here on the label. Low in odor, fully digestible. It's single ingredient, so like I said, it doesn't hurt his tummy. It's easy on his stomach, and it's absolutely good for him. And I know exactly what's in this stuff when I'm giving it to him. But y'all check out Maxi Squad. Like I said, right here on the label. I didn't finish reading it. No rawhide and promotes strong jaws. So Y'all check out Maxi Squad. Junior loves it. I guarantee you your puppy dog will too. Y'all go check out Maxi Squad. Get your puppy dog some treats. Use the code WHOTEEWHO and they're going to give you a discount off your order. Go check them out and tell them I sent you. Alright, so I had to kind of show you all those hits at longer ranges just to kind of show you my credibility or street cred, if you will. I've got hits at longer distances with a whole lot of calibers, probably so many that I've forgotten some of them, but a lot of that I've got to give credit to my friends at the Alabama Arsenal channel. If you're not subscribed to Alabama Arsenal, you go check them out. Old Tim over there, he is who got me into long range shooting, and now I'm absolutely hooked on it. But I'm no expert, but like I said, I have hit with a lot of calibers at pretty long range. Let me kind of walk you through. Again, this is the beginner's guide to long range shooting. I'm not claiming to be a personal crazy sniper myself, but I have a lot of fun shooting long range. Let me show you what I do to get set up for these long range shots. Some of you guys will say, yeah, we already know that. But again, beginner's guide. So if you're a beginner, check it out. Even if you're not, check it out. Hang out with me for a minute. I'm going to show you exactly what I do to get the dopes, or how many clickies on the scope you need. That's going to get you right on at those long range shots, at least get you real close. So check it out. I'm going to zoom you in on my computer screen here and just show you what I do. And just for the sake of reaching or relating to a lot of people here, I'm going to walk you through some 308. So I've got some 308 Norma Bond Strike right here. Show you this stuff. I've filmed several different 308 rifles at long range, and I'm picking 308 simply because it's pretty common. 6.5 Creedmoor's common for people who want to shoot far, but 308 is pretty common regardless. So let me zoom in on my computer screen here. I'm going to show you what I do, and yeah, should be a fun video. Check it out. Let me kind of preface what I'm about to show you. So there's a website that I use where you put in some data and then it literally spits out a chart that's going to tell you the bullet trajectory, the bullet drop, whether you're using an MOA scope or mils, and also in inches. So I'm going to show you how to get that data and where to type it in. And then this website, this free website, is literally going to tell you how to adjust your scope, where you can hit, hey, at long distances. It's a whole lot easier than some of you might assume. So check it out. This is shootercalculator.com. I'm going to zoom in quite a bit here. Shootercalculator.com. And if you look on the screen here, there's a couple bits of information that you're going to need. So, ballistic coefficient. What is that? I'm not going to give you the nerd out definition of it, but you need to get your ballistic coefficient. Some ammo will have it right there on the box. This Norma's 308 does not have it on the box, so I'm going to type into the internet Norma 308 Bond Strike. And if you're looking up your ammo, you're going to search for the BC of whatever ammo you're shooting long range. And it pops up right here. And I need the 308. And it's telling me right here on Norma's website the BC. So ballistic coefficient, the G1 ballistic coefficient is 615. Or 0.615 rather. So I'm going to go back over to my ballistic calculator here, and I'm going to type in right there 0.615. The next box is asking for bullet weight, so I'm going to look at my bullet weight. These Norma Bond Strikes are 180 grain rounds, so I'm going to type in 180. I'm going to zoom you guys even just a little bit more. The next box says initial velocity. So what that is going to be the feet per second as the bullet is leaving the barrel. So you can go off of the box. This normal stuff actually says 2625 at the muzzle. So that's going to change. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, 2625 for the sake of example, but that's going to change depending on your barrel length. So if you have a chronograph, it's good to get your own speeds so you can get a more accurate reading. The better the data you're putting in, the better data you're going to get out. But we're going to use that number off the box. But the longer the barrel, generally speaking, the faster your bullet's going to be on. Then your zero range. So at what range did you zero your rifle? I generally sight in everything at 100, so I'm going to leave that at 100. Your sight height is next. So that is the measurement from the barrel to your scope. So generally speaking, your scope is going to be 1.5 inches. That's a default that I pretty much use for everything. But if I do have a scope that's higher, I'll actually measure it and get that, whether it's 2 inches or what have you. But for sake of example, we're going to leave 1.5 in there. Then shooting angle. That's if you're, obviously, that's your shooting angle. You're going to be shooting down, you're going to be shooting up. I'm going to leave 0 in there, like we're shooting on some flat ground. The wind speed, I'm going to put that at 0. And then wind angle, I'm going to put that at 0. Then over here, this sight lets you adjust for atmosphere. I always put that in, depending on where I'm going. For the sake of example, let's say we're at 800 elevation and it's 60 degrees outside. I'm going to leave the barometric pressure and relative humidity there. Then down here, this particular sight lets you say what's the max of the yardage you're going to want to shoot at. I'm going to leave that at 1,000. And then the increments you want it in. So do you want it at 100, 200, 300? Do you want it at every 25 yards? What have you. I'm going to say just give us every 100 yards, and then I'm going to click create graph. And then it's going to give us a bullet trajectory chart. And the big thing here is this table. So let me zoom you in a little bit more on this table. Boop, boop. And what this is showing you, so the first column here, that's the range that you're shooting. So I told it to give us from 0 all the way to 1,000 yards. And the next column here is the bullet drop in inches. So at 1,000 yards, this particular Norma 308 is dropping 350 inches. So, and then the next two, the MOA elevation and the mils. So if you're using an MOA scope and you're going to take a 1,000-yard shot, you're going to need to dial for 33 MOA. If you have a, I'm not even going to get into using rails, but if you have your rifle sighted in at 100 yards and you're using this round, MOA, you're going to need to dial your scope for 33.5, 33.45 this is saying. And then if you're using a mils scope, you're going to need to dial it, your scope, for 9.73 mils or 9.7 mils. And that will get you very close to being on at 1,000. So, just wanted to walk you guys through how I get my numbers when I'm shooting long range. But let me turn this light back on and zoom back out, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. So, that is the website that I use. I've actually got one of my dope books right here. So, yeah, so I was just out shooting with Alabama Arsenal a couple weeks ago, and I created this dope chart for 350 Legend. So at 1,000 yards, our calculation was 31 mils. 350 Legend drops a lot more than 308. But at 700, we were at 14 mils. So to get hits with 350 Legend at 700 yards, I dialed the scope to 14 mils. So Let me actually grab a scope real quick. I'm looking at a bunch of rifles sitting here that I've got laid out. Again, this is a beginner's guide, so if you know what I'm talking about, hey, you can skip ahead or go watch another fun video. There's tons of videos on the channel, but for sake of example, this scope right here, this is a Mills scope, and this is a Athlon Argos. Really good scope. Which one? Have I shot this one at 1,000 yet? Yeah, this is the 300 WSM. So last time I was shooting long range, we shot this one, got hits at 1,000 yards. So let me flip over to that page that has the 300 WSM data. Boom, boom, boom. 25-06. Where's the 300? Here we go, 300 WSM. So, here's my sheet that I had calculated before we went out to the range. You can look at some numbers quick there. I had calculated for a 1,000 yard shot that this scope would need to be dialed for 6.7 mils. And then you can see what I actually wrote in there. My hits at 1,000, I needed 7.3. So my quick calculations on the computer got me within half a mil. That was pretty close. So just for the sake of example, on my calculations here, if I were to be shooting this 300 WSM at 500 yards, my calculations said 2.21 mils. So what the heck does that mean? Well, I'd go to my Mills scope here. Alright, so I'm going to try to hold it to see where you can see what I'm talking about. For 500 yards, my chart called for 2.2 mils. So if I was going to take a 500 yard shot, I would crank the scope up to 2.2 mils. And then this rifle that was sighted in at 100 yards, now, because we put it on 2.2 mils, is going to get us dead on, if not dead on, super close to a good shot at 500 yards. And it's really as simple as that. For the 300 WSM, like I just showed you, 500 yards, we dial that scope for 2.21 mils. So now we kind of went over how I get my dials for the scopes. You got to have a couple pieces of data. There's all kinds of free sites online that you can use that will give you the dopes to dial for whatever caliber and whatever range you're trying to get hits at. Also, while I've got this rifle out here, I just took this rifle on a hunting trip, and you can see I taped on my stock here for hunting purposes. I put my dials out here for my scope all the way out to 400 yards. I wasn't going to shoot this one more than 400 at an animal, but I wanted to have it on there on the stock. I could shoot an animal at 50 yards, I could shoot something out at 400 yards confidently with that rifle on an animal. Now, like I said, we've got that rifle filmed getting hits on steel at 1,000, but I hadn't practiced enough with that one. And where I hunt, there's no 1,000 yard shots either. So anyways, I'm rambling now, but I showed you how to calculate that. You got to have a couple pieces of data, put it in there. If you really want to learn the math, hey, have at it and study it further than me. But me, I don't care about the math, and I just trust what the computer tells me, and it works every time, so I go with it. But outside of that, there's a couple extra tips that I'm going to give you. Again, from a beginner, I'm not an expert, but I do what I do, and I've got friends that have gotten me here so far. Like I said, Alabama Arsenal, y'all go subscribe to them. But from my perspective, here's a couple quick things that's good to have. So if you're going to shoot long range, I've gotten good groups with $200 rifles. I've gotten good groups with $1,000 rifles. So, but the basic rule is, if you can get a 1-inch group at 100 yards, no matter what your rifle is, you can shoot pretty decent at 1,000 yards. So you got to have a decent rifle. 2, it helps if you have decent ammo that makes a good group. So if you can shoot the same hole or within a 1-inch group at 100, then you can trust that you're going to be able to do okay at 1,000. So a decent rifle, decent ammo, and you got to have, I just slipped my mind. Really good planned out video here, huh? But decent ammo, decent rifle. It helps to have a spotter, especially for the heavier recoiling calibers. Like that 300 WSM, I pull the trigger, I cannot stay on the scope to see where the bullet's hitting. So in those cases, it's really crucial, really helpful to have a spotter, your buddy, who's sitting there watching your hits to tell you where you need to make your adjustments. But outside of that, really, you got to have a good trigger squeeze. If your trigger squeeze is garbage, then you're not going to be able to get consistent hits. You're just going to be throwing shots all over the place. So if you can't get a good group at 100, don't even waste your time trying to shoot long range. Focus on either getting the right ammo or honing your shooting skills, or getting whatever combination of equipment that you need to be able to shoot good groups at 100. Then you can take all this data, fling those bullets at long range, and you're probably going to surprise yourself at what you are capable of after you try it. I get people all the time, oh man, that's so crazy, like you shoot it at 1,000 yards, man, that's incredible. Nah man, it's not incredible. Like this rifle right here, this is my 6.5 Creedmoor Ruger American. Paid $400 for this rifle. This was the very first rifle of mine that I ever got a shot on at 1,000 yards. But I could hand you this 6.5 Creedmoor, I don't care who you are, and I promise you, within 3 or 4 shots, you could get a hit at 1,000. So I could hand this to my grandmother, my mom, my wife, whatever, somebody who's never shot a gun before. And with this low recoiling 6.5 Creedmoor, with my scope dialed to those numbers we calculated, bing, you would get hits on it at 1,000. But this was a video that I just wanted to make quick. It's probably turned into a long video to show you how I get my bullet drop calculations. Just a tiny bit of, well, you get those calculations, then you go to your scope, whether it's MOA or mils, and you just do the clickies to the number that you need that's on the chart. And then that's adjusting your scope for that bullet trajectory, for that cartridge. And yeah, that's really it. But I'm going to say it again, a big thanks to my buddy Tim at Alabama Arsenal. Like I said, he's the one that really got me hooked on long range shooting, and now I absolutely love it. Still 100% consider myself a beginner, but I still got that street cred. You can't take that away from me. I've got those hits on film at with a lot of calibers that I truly enjoy. Like, my goal is to have hits on at 1,000 yards on camera with every caliber you can think of. That's literally my goal. So appreciate you guys watching and coming along with me. Comment down below ideas for future videos, or anything that you want to see. There's still tons of calibers out there that we have not filmed yet at long distance that will absolutely go the distance. Y'all don't forget to check out Maxi Squad and get your puppy dog some treats. Junior said he wanted another treat and he would do some tricks for you real quick. So this is some of his favorites. I'm going to cut some of these up into some little pieces and he's going to do some tricks for you. Don't forget to check out Maxi Squad. Use the code WHOTEEWHO. They're going to give you a big discount off your order. Alright, here's Junior, and he's going to do some tricks for you. Lay down. Good boy. Come here. Sit. Shake. Shake this hand. Nope. Up. Shake this hand. Nope. Nope. This hand. Good boy. Good boy. Come here. You pretty boy. Pretty boy. Oh, come here. Pretty boy. All the way around. Good boy. And then I'm going to give them the rest of these for free. Don't forget to check out Maxi Squad. Use the code WHOTEEWHO and they're going to give you a discount on your order. See y'all on the next one. WHOTEEWHO!